Hello, everyone, and welcome to the official Do Good Better podcast. Today, I'm your host, Abby Furchner. I usually have Patrick with me here in the studio for our Thursday podcast, but he's off emceeing and being the best MC for all these super cool and fun events today. So you just have me for your host today. It's kind of weird because it's kind of quiet in here. Out of the office. I'm the only one in the office today. So it's definitely a little bit of a change of pace, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. I have a fun little topic I want to talk about today. It comes at a pretty good time, I'd like to think, and it's all about getting back on track and staying motivated. I know with, the holidays just got over. And if you're anything like me, some people hate New Year's resolutions. I wouldn't say I'm a huge New Year's resolution person. However, between Christmas and New Year's Eve, during that break, I like to try to think of ways and goals that I could be better in 2021 or in the new year. And so it's kind of the same thing, but we're human. We get it that you think of all these great ideas and you think of all these great things during the holidays and when you're on break, but then you get back to reality and normal life and, you get curveballs thrown at you. Something's happening at work, something's happening in your personal life, and things don't go, the way that you had imagined or dreamed it was going to go during your break. But I just kind of wanted to take a second. Everybody take a breath with me, and we're going to talk about ways that you can get back on track and make sure that you're staying motivated now that reality is kind of hitting you. You just were off of vacation, and I just want to help you and guide you to making 2021 really the best year that you imagined it to be before we went into the holidays. And I have 3 simple little tips or little pieces of advice that I want to share with you that I do personally and that I think have helped me transition into the new year and make sure that I was, staying on track with my goals and things like that going into the new year. So, okay, Abby, say new year one more time and stop rambling. So let's just get into number 1. I'm kind of starting this podcast off really fast because I don't have anybody to banter with. So it's kind of a different pace, but I'll try to slow down because I feel like I'm going really quickly. But my number 1 piece of advice that I want to share with you to getting back on track, staying motivated after the holidays, if you haven't already, go buy a planner. If you don't like planners, I personally like them because I like the what am I trying to say? Not the simplification, the satisfaction. That's the word I'm looking for. The satisfaction of physically like marking something off of a list, but I know that's not everybody's jam, especially with all the cool calendars and apps you can have now. But get a planner, get a calendar, or get both. I actually have both that I use. So the reason that I say that is because once you get back into work, it feels like you're going to go a gazillion miles an hour, and it's very easy to overbook yourself or to schedule something and you go into a meeting, completely forget to, set a reminder on your calendar or to write it down. And all of a sudden it's 2 weeks later and you're getting the email like, hi, are we still going to do this Zoom meeting at 1:30? And it's 1:35 and you realize you're 5 minutes late to this. So I totally get how that feels. So I have found what's kept me motivated and what's kept me on track to achieve things is to write it down in your planner. If you have a goal that you want to achieve by the end of January, write it down, keep it in your calendar, keep it in your notes. But I also have a planner, I have my work calendar, and then I have a personal calendar. And I know that's really excessive, but I just like to divide kind of my life up like that because I've learned that if I have everything on one calendar, I can get very overwhelmed very quickly because I see all of these things and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have time. Like I don't have time for any of this. I'm like kind of losing sight on what is important and what's not, where this is how I break it down here. I'll break it down for you. In my planner, I usually list that day the things that need to be done that day. So that is kind of my to-do list. My Gmail calendar is all of my work meetings that I have, tasks that I need to maybe complete by a certain time that day. So I have that as my work calendar. And then on my cell phone, I have my iPhone calendar. And that's like my personal things, like my appointments, my solid core workout reminders, those type of things. And that has allowed me to really stay on track on all areas of my life. And I don't feel all consumed with having everything in one area or not having anything written down anywhere. So this just will help you, especially the first couple of months. Like I said, January, February, we're all kind of hitting the ground running. We want it to be a great start to the year, and you're probably overwhelmed with emails and meetings. And so it's best just to take Mondays are for planning. If you have read Patrick's book, you'll know that. But Mondays are for planning, and I take that very personally. I take at least, I would say, an hour every Monday morning to plan that week and just to take that mental break to make sure that I have everything organized in order. And that has really kept me on track. My second little piece of advice that I would like to give you guys is write down the goals you want to accomplish from January to May. From January to May, these first few months of 2021, what do you want to accomplish? I like to break down my goals into seasons. I just find it a little bit easier that way than from January to January. That way you can kind of organize your goal. If you can't tell by this podcast, I like to organize a lot. That way you can kind of organize your goals. What are your benchmarks? What are the things you want to do this rest of winter and spring that you want to accomplish before leading into summer? And then you can break up from May to September, you can do, or May to August, you can do your summer goals, because those might be completely different in your work life and personal life than what you want to do for this first half of 2021. And then obviously from fall to January, I consider August summer. Yeah, August. So September would be fall, September to January. For that end of the year of 2021, what do you want those goals to be? Because like I said, they're going to be different than what you started having in 2021 in January. Those are going to be different goals. So breaking those up and making action plans for each goal can really help you stay motivated. And I like to say, see that light at the end of the tunnel. Instead of having that year-long goal, that seems like so much time. And me personally, if I think, oh, I have until January, I'll start to push it back. That goal will just like slowly become less and less important. And all of a sudden it's January and we're going into 2022. And I'm like, wow, I'm so glad I didn't accomplish that at all. So I've kind of learned how to break up my goals a little bit and make action plans for each one. So let's say, you really want to, let's say you want to start your own podcast, for example. From January to April, you could work on the sponsorship kit. You could really work on, what your podcast is going to be about, who you want to have on as guests, what is your niche going to be. And then come April to May, you want your podcast to launch at the end of May. April to May, you can work on, okay, who are my first 5 guests going to be? What equipment do I need? And then you'll have all of that set up and you'll be ready to go. So just breaking it up, having an action plan in place, it'll keep you on track and keep you motivated to reach those goals way more than just trying to have random goals by the end of the year. Oh, also, sorry, my voice is like gone for some reason. I don't really know what's happening, but so sorry if you guys are like, what is this audio? It's not the microphone. It's me, 100%. But my advice number 3, and this is kind of like, I would say, like backwards, to stay motivated, if you want to call it that, if you want to say it that. But my advice number 3 would be to give yourself a break. a lot of the times when we set goals for ourselves, when we go into the new year, we want it to be amazing. We don't say no to anything. It's yes, 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 yes. And you can find yourself, getting burnt out really quickly. And if you want 2021 to be the year you've been imagining over the holidays for it to be, you need to know that you're going to need to take some time for yourself and care for yourself in between all of, your goals and ambitions. And I say that because, like I said, you don't want to burn yourself out. You don't want to get to March and you're already like, I feel like I am burnt out. I have no more motivation. That's the number one thing you'll hear. I have no more motivation to do anything. And then you start to kind of like beat yourself down a little bit. Maybe my goals are unattainable. Maybe I'm reaching too far. Maybe, the sky really isn't the limit. But that's definitely not true at all. If you just find some time during the week, even if it's twice a week, or you just take some time on the weekends to really give yourself a break, remove yourself from the screens, spend time with friends and family, even if it's virtually, and letting yourself relax and having some self-care will definitely recharge you, and you'll feel motivated to continue to reach your goals and to, go to work every single day with that fresh mindset. I have a rule that I set for myself back in, I want to say it was like 2018. I set this goal, and I was no longer going to check my emails after 5 p.m. Obviously, if Patrick is emailing me or one of our awesome clients is emailing me and they need help really badly, I will obviously respond. But I try my best not to work past 5 and really have the evenings to myself, and do what I love to do, whether that's, working out or spending time with family, talking with friends, watching The Bachelorette, because I love The Bachelorette and that's on right now. I try my best not to do that. But also another thing that I do is I take one night during the weekday to really like pamper myself, whether that's, just hanging out on my couch and binge watching Netflix until I have to go to bed, or, doing something that you love. I take one night a week to do that. And I feel almost like, even if it's like a Wednesday, I feel so ready and excited to go to work Thursday morning because that night before I really took the time to focus on myself. And some of those nights too, I'll take the time to read over the goals that I set. What am I trying to achieve right now? Because it's easy to get lost in the hustle and bustle of everyday life that you forget what you're really aiming for. And so some of those nights, take time to go over your goals, reread your planner, re-look at your calendars. If you need to adjust some things, but definitely give yourself a break. We're still in the age of giving yourself grace, but even after the pandemic, cross your fingers, after the pandemic, allow yourself to give yourself some grace. And you'll definitely be like, wow, 2021 was really my year. So I know that we're all really excited and it's a new year, it's a fresh start. So I hope these little bits of information will help you achieve everything you want to personally, work-wise, any aspect of life-wise will help you achieve your goals, and that you'll be able to stay motivated throughout the entire year and not just the first 2 months. But thank you so much for listening to another episode of the official Do Good Better podcast. We will definitely you'll be definitely hearing us chat soon. Hopefully next Thursday, Patrick will be back with us and we'll be answering some more of your questions. So if you have those, feel free to reach out to us. Patrick's email is patrick@dogoodbetterconsulting.com. Mine is abby@dogoodbetterconsulting.com. But also we have the official Do Good Better podcast Facebook page where you can leave us a question there, and we'll definitely get to it because we love answering questions. That's probably both of our favorite things. We're in the consulting business. We wouldn't love answering questions if we didn't truly enjoy it. So We'll drop all of those links obviously below, but make sure that you tune in next week to the official Do Good Better podcast for another episode.